Hi Guy, I'm Laurie from AI Elephant.
Hi guys, I'm Leo.
The story we're exploring today starts with a very harsh dismissal. Imagine pouring your heart into a startup pitch, only for a top investor to tell you directly, "This is the worst pitch and the worst idea I have ever heard."
Wow, that is brutal. It is practically a death sentence right out of the gate. We know so many startups try to challenge industry incumbents, but how on earth do you break through a seemingly saturated market with an idea that a major VC called stupid?
This very project, Gamma, which was heavily dismissed, not only survived but scaled to an impressive $100 million in annual recurring revenue, AR, in just over 2 years, all while remaining profitable. In this episode, we thoroughly deconstruct co-founder Grant Lee's counterintuitive secrets to success, the magic of the first step, the deliberate design of a word of mouth machine, and the founder's ruthless self-criticism. Grant Lee recalls that the core criticism from the investor was straightforward. "You're competing with industry giants who have massive distribution channels. You simply cannot succeed." The call ended abruptly, but this early rejection solidified one thing for the Gamma team: growth was not optional. It was the essential core task for survival.
After that kind of humiliation, the first impulse must be to prove them wrong. So, did their initial proof succeed? The notes mention they won product of the day, week, and month on Product Hunt. That sounds like massive success.
It was, but only in the form of vanity metrics. The Gamma team showed a rare quality among founders: high self-awareness and criticism. Even though registration surged, they quickly noticed the growth curve was starting to plateau. This meant the Product Hunt traffic was fleeting. They hadn't yet found a sustainable core growth engine they could continuously invest in and optimize.
I see. It is like getting a lot of likes on a workout photo high praise, but it doesn't mean you've built a sustainable fitness habit. If we see the company as a person, Gamma realized it hadn't found its true metabolism yet.
To find that core growth engine, Gamma made a counterintuitive decision. They paused product development and spent 3 to 4 months completely overhauling the entire user onboarding experience. They deeply integrated AI into this process with a single goal: ensure every new user felt a sort of magic during their very first touch point.
But most products try to show off their magic by piling on all the cool features. If they had a lot of features, why not showcase them all at once to the user?
Grant Lee introduced a mindset model borrowed from consumer advertising, the one egg concept. If you throw 4 or 5 or 10 eggs at the consumer, too many features and value propositions, they will likely drop them all and feel confused. Gamma restrained the urge to show everything, offering only the most refined and powerful initial experience, such as create a slide in seconds. This egg had to be appealing enough to solve a real user problem. Users who caught that first egg stayed in the product, and Gamma could then continuously build more value on that foundation over time. This intense focus on the user experience during the first 30 seconds was the core reason their business underwent a qualitative transformation.
That is brilliant. It is not about having more features. It is about precisely targeting the user's initial pain point and ensuring that first experience is magically smooth. Hook them with a taste of success, build trust, and then add the complexity later.
Gamma's rapid growth was not accidental. They successfully engineered their product into a word-of-mouth machine. The internal core motto was still, "Go back to the first 30 seconds." This required the product to be two things. First, make it dead simple for users to create content, and second, make it dead simple for users to share it.
But many products have a share button. What is the secret here? Doesn't word of mouth just happen naturally if the product is good enough?
Grant Lee stresses that word of mouth and virality are absolutely done by design. They focused all their efforts on removing every piece of friction in the user's process of creation and sharing. Whether sharing internally within an organization or presenting externally, they designed mechanisms to promote that action naturally. Even more counterintuitive as the company scaled, testing and launching thousands of pieces of creative every week, they didn't cut corners. Instead, they invested heavily in a full rebrand during their hypergrowth phase. Though it took longer and cost more than anticipated, Grant Lee deemed it the right investment in their brand DNA.
Spending big on a rebrand During a period of rapid growth, that sounds like stopping in the middle of a marathon to change clothes. Why?
It was for replication and consistency. The brand DNA ensures that whether content is produced internally or externally, those thousands of pieces, they all feel pretty cohesive. For a product like Gamma, which targets the professional consumer, the brand experience starts the moment the user sees an ad. It must maintain symmetric messaging and a consistent look and feel with the final product experience to drive registration and usage. When it comes to marketing, Grant Lee points out a common mistake many founders make, thinking they just need to pay a few big trendy creators with millions of followers, hand them a script, and call it a day. The result? The content instantly feels like an ad, lacking any real connection to the creator.
I totally agree. I usually skip those stiff-sounding advertisements. So, what was Gamma's superior strategy? Did they just find even more expensive celebrities?
The opposite. Gamma pursued the harder but more sustainable strategy, finding thousands of micro-influencers. Their audience size is smaller, but they have high trust and relevance, and the product is actually useful to them. In the early days, Grant Lee personally led the founder-led marketing, manually contacting and guiding all initial influencers. The core goal was to ensure they told the Gamma story in their own voice. They primarily looked for specific user groups called echo chambers, such as educators.
Echo chamber is a powerful metaphor. Why are educators an ideal echo chamber?
Because for teachers, making slides to engage students is a daily task. An AI tool that saves them significant time is one they are happy to share with their peers. When teachers gather during the summer break to discuss their work, in that high-trust circle, a valuable tool can spread like wildfire. These micro-influencers were relatively low, paid, but the resulting spread was immense. For AI-driven companies, due to the real cost of inference services, profitability and early monetization are crucial. Gamma's monetization happened almost by accident. It was unsolicited.
Unsolicited? You mean they didn't have a plan to charge people from the start?
When they launched their AI features in March 2023, they were pre-revenue. All their focus was on perfecting the first 30 seconds experience. They set up a simple credit system. All new users got 400 free credits. Once those credits ran out, the AI features were cut off. It was this cutoff that created the most powerful proof of product market fit. Their user communication platform, Intercom, started blowing up with users asking, "How do I buy more credits? I want to keep using this tool." This unsolicited demand from users literally forced Gamma to immediately start the work of pricing and packaging design.
That is the highest level of PMF? It wasn't the founders asking, "Should we charge?" It was the users shouting, "Please take my money." How did they quickly set the price?
They quickly used two methods: the Van Westendorp analysis to understand the overall user willingness to pay, and the conjoint analysis to understand which features users valued most. Through these analyses, they determined a starting price point and quickly became profitable within months of launching the AI features. In the age of AI, Grant Lee presents a crucial durable mindset model to build a successful company. You cannot merely be a GPT wrapper, a company that just adds a shell around a large language model. The real goal is to own the end-to-end workflow of the customer.
What does owning the workflow mean? Does it mean making the customer dependent on the tool forever?
Yes, it means that when a customer thinks, "I need to create a presentation," Gamma must be their default tool. The entire process, from the starting point of creation to the final delivery to the boss, must be magical and great. To achieve this, they use a right model for the right job framework, selecting the best AI model for each substep. Whether it is one model for the outline or another for visual imagery.
Finally, he shared a personal mindset model taught by his mother, the allegory of the frog at the bottom of the well. Jachek, Tagichek, Deg Bar I Bar Al. He reminds himself that whenever he feels like he is thinking too little or too small, he needs to consciously remind himself to zoom out.
That is advice not just for founders, but for all of us. What limits people is often not technology or resources, but the lack of ambition to dream much bigger. The miracle of Gamma, from the dumbest idea to $100 million, is a perfect example of a company that dared to jump out of the well.
Look Looking back at Gamma's rise, we can summarize 3 disruptive, actionable takeaways for any founder or builder. 1. Growth is king. Founders must be hands-on. Don. 2. Trust vanity metrics. Be your own worst critic. Growth is not an outsourced function. The founder must be deeply involved in every user interaction and marketing effort to build authentic connections. 2. Focus on the one egg and the first 30 seconds. Restrain the urge to show all features. Use the most refined, powerful value proposition to precisely hit the user's core pain point, ensuring the first-time experience is frictionless and magical. 3. Build echo chambers, not star power. Stop chasing big trendy creators who lack real connection. Instead, find thousands of micro-influencers and achieve wildfire growth within high trust echo chambers like educators.
From a scorned beginning to today, $100 million ARR success, Gamma's story perfectly proves that the most successful ventures are often born from counter-intuition and self-criticism. Thank you, Laurie, for this deep analysis, and thank you to all our listeners. We hope this story of the frog at the bottom of the well inspires you to challenge the giants and dare to dream bigger.